Ptown bar raided during queer event featuring Amanda Lepore. I'm sorry, I'm a fake homosexual. Amanda Lepore? Just gonna guess this is, someone I should know. This is foreshadowing for Pride. God, we're in for a rough one. Yep. This needs to be the most obnoxious Pride yet, okay? I am fully recovered from the, like, kinked Pride discourse. I don't give a shit about anything anymore, okay? Be naked. And roll in like in a big, like, human centipede-esque. I don't give a shit, okay? Amanda Lepore is a famous trans model, was part of the NYC Club Kids. Queen, work, slay, something. So there was a raid? What was supposed to be a joyful night of queer celebration turned into a moment of surreal disruption on Friday when Ptown Bar, a beloved LGBTQ establishment in Pittsburgh, was raided by approximately 20 Pennsylvania state police officers and undercover agents during a drag event hosted by local drag icon Indica and featuring legendary guest Amanda Lepore. Why were they raided? The event, Another Party Pittsburgh, had just hit its stride when the police entered around 11:30 p.m. mid-performance as drag artist Blade Matthews took the stage. And not just with any number, Blade was in the middle of a theatrical rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody. With the room captivated and the song in full swing, law enforcement had to stand back and wait? Blade literally chose the longest song ever and made the cops wait, said one attendee. It was iconic.
Okay, spooky. 1, 2, 3. We have too much fun. So apparently we are now going to need to go outside for a second and we're going to be counting how many people are in here because you know what? Our queerness is too fucking queer. Make some noise now.
Wait, I'm sorry. So what was the pretext for the raid? Were they like 20 officers coming in to check to make sure everyone was following fire code? Like not too many people in here? What's the pretext? The police offered little explanation beyond calling it a compliance check. Yes! We're so back, people. We're back to the no excuses police raids on gay bars. Let's fucking go! Compliance check? 20 people for a compliance. Just seeing. You know? Drags baton along the side of the brick wall outside. Just seeing, making sure you're all up to code. It was an LCB raid taken to the extreme, Indico told Kuberg. We waited 30 minutes outside for them to inspect every crevice. In true drag fashion, Indica pivoted to performance as resistance. With the crowd displaced and the venue swarm with law enforcement, she took to the street for an a cappella rendition of Pink Pony Club. The crowd joined in, turning the sidewalk into a spontaneous moment of queer solidarity. All right, well, you can't keep gay people from being annoying. Do governors have no power over the police? Not normally, no. It's not their business. Police are city. Sheriffs are county level. There are state level police, but that's not who these were. They were state police? Wait, they were? Oh, yeah, sorry. Pennsylvania state police officers and undercover agents during a drag show. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. No, yeah, these were state police officers. There you go. Yeah. I wonder why they did that. Shapiro? What is Shapiro doing? I doubt that they didn't do it at his direction. The governor doesn't, like, directly authorize everything state police do. I'm glad they're having fun. Do you think, like, the state police kind of missed the directive on this a little bit, though? Because one of the important things that you're supposed to do when you're doing, like, a purposeless gay bar raid is you're supposed to beat the shit out of people, and they didn't, you know? I don't know. I consider this kind of a cultural victory, to be honest with you. They clearly want to do the gay bashing, but they know that catching it on video would make them look really fucking bad, so they can't. So they're doing like cucked fascism. They're like, yeah, this is a compliance check. Can we just like have 30 minutes to like look around or something? Okay, we looked around. Heil Trump. What? Nothing. All right, bye. What? Nothing. Bye. What if they're trying to slowly normalize these checks again? Oh, no. They are. Don't get me wrong. But, like, can you imagine what the national discourse would be if they just started clubbing people out in the street around all these, I don't know, are these, like, little eateries or something? It's to the point that I just made with regard to trans people, you know? especially they're in Pittsburgh here, right? There is so much normalization, so much cultural integration. It's just difficult to imagine. One thing that bothers me a bit, I think that people really overstate how progressive the Weimar Republic was, right? Because like I think that they do that as a way of drawing comparisons between then and now, and I don't think those comparisons are necessarily invalid, but I think that people don't really understand how big of a gulf we're talking about, you know? In the Weimar Republic, they were some known queer people, and there was an institute of like sexology that studied them. There were some publicly known lesbian, gay couples and so on, but like the average resident of the Weimar Republic back then was not like even a little bit, it wasn't that normalized. It was very good for the time. Nowadays, the average resident of Pittsburgh probably like grew up with gay people. It's like assuming Yeltsin era Russia was a bastion of liberalism. Yeah, kind of, right? It's like just keep in mind the standards of the time, basically. I just I don't think you could make Pittsburgh into a city that would cheer as gay bar residents are beaten in the street by cops for no reason. Because that's what we did back in the 50s and 60s in this country. That was like what gay bashing was. The gays would get pulled out by their hair out into the street and would get beaten for cross-dressing or whatever. And like onlookers would be like, yeah, f them. But not like that, because that'd be gay. But nowadays, like, we're not about that life. You understand the point that I'm making here? I'm not just trying to crack jokes or whatever. I'm trying to indicate that, like, I think that as bad as it is that they're doing, like, just unironic gay bar raids now, the same shit Russia does, I think it's very telling that there are still limits on what they can get away with. Oh, it was a liquor control board raid? That's your pretense? Is that the pretense they offered? Where does it say that? Eyewitnesses confirmed only about 70 people, including staff. Oh, LCB? Okay, gotcha. Including staff and performers were allowed back inside after the inspection. Many noted that officers refused to make eye contact with the queens inside, though interaction with the crowd was described as mostly calm. Some attendees questioned agents directly, asking why raids like this don't happen at straight bars in the South Side or places like Tequila Cowboy. These comments reportedly were ignored. Adding a surreal twist, Indica reported officers recognized Amanda Lepore and asked for selfies while the crowd was still forced to wait outside. Lepore, who rose to fame in New York's club scene and lived through the era of outlaw parties and frequent police crackdowns, allegedly remarked this was the first time she had actually witnessed a raid mid-event, calling the night iconic in a darkly nostalgic sense. No kidding, Jesus. This smells like AI written? No. I recognize handwritten gay local media because I read that shit quite a bit growing up, okay? This was written with long fake nails. God bless him. Ugly fucking drip, man. Me showing up at day one as dressing for a raid, and you have a giant bulletproof vest over, like, normie male dot PNG. Negative aura. Yeah. You know, part of the reason police uniforms existed in the form that they did before we decided every single police officer should be plainclothes with, like, military gear, is because the uniform conveys aura, authority, and calm. Not to say police were good back in the 1950s, but I think that a good police uniform is good for a reason. Can we all agree that, like, this looks better? Any day of the week, I would take shit like this over guy dressed in skinny jeans and a polo shirt with decommissioned Iraqi military gear on your chest, you know? Like, guy who looks like shit, but then also he has a tactical vest. Anyway, sorry, I'm being gay. Which is fitting for the nature of the segment, I guess. Let me see if I can find another source on this. Ptown gay bar raid. I'm actually not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything referring to this specific event. I guess this article did come out today. So, you know, it's possible that it hasn't been... Small local paper couldn't find anything bigger as of yet. All right. That's fair. Hey, you know what I did just find while Googling around for it? From Radio Free Europe, our very favorite, possibly recently defunded organization. Moscow police on November 30th raided several bars and nightclubs in the Russian capital as part of the government's crackdown on LGBTQ propaganda. Yippee. Now, just a little cultural parallel there. Really, I do not, I don't believe that they're going to be able to undo what they want to undo in any way that matters. Can I be hopeful about that? As bad as this administration has been for the economy, for like the democracy, for norms, democracy is and always has been very flimsy culturally in this country. At least it has been within my lifetime. The cultural acceptance of queer people goes so much further than that, you know? Understanding that gay people and trans people are just like normal ass people trying to be annoying in their day to day. um, is like a deeply held emotional belief that a belief in democracy very rarely matches. I think even stalwart advocates for democracy, like democratic liberalism, you know, have doubts on it. Because how could you possibly believe in democracy that much when this is what it produces? I get it. I believe in it, but I get it. I'll say my faith in democracy usually is not hovering that high, but my like emotionally set understanding that gay people are just trying to get that bag, that shit's sky high and always will be. Why do they want to undo it anyway? Is it just to fulfill their voter base's issues? No, it's creating their voter base's issues. Their goal is to create in groups, out groups, and enemies nonstop, so they always have a target to go after, so that people have a war to fight and they don't notice what they're what's being taken from them. Bigotry has always been a convenient excuse for the ruling class. Trump has openly stated several times he only brings it up to win elections. That is true. He has literally said that. That is completely true. He's such a funny guy, man. His brain is so melted. Not that it matters. Trump doesn't care about gay people. He doesn't care about gay people. Do you think this will end once Trump is out of office? No, you need like a genuine reconstruction effort in this country. Again, most homophobia and transphobia is disseminated either from or with heavy assistance from capital in an interest to maintain a culture war so that people don't fight the war that actually matters, which is the war against the capital class. Not to say that the culture war doesn't matter, it matters very much, but it's an artificial one, you know? Conservative social positions are manufactured top down. They don't exist sort of meaningfully outside of that. Much in the same way that climate denialism, denial in anthropogenic climate change, was created by the right wing. It doesn't exist on its own, at least not in any significant numbers, right? It was created by Republicans fighting against environmental activists in favor of, pro-Exxon or the pro-fossil fuel lobby's interests, because they make more money if people don't think that they're destroying the world. So yeah, we need a reconstructive effort. Gay hate has religious roots, though. Oh, I'm not saying that hatred doesn't go back before capitalism. But then you have to wonder, why is religion historically so insistent on maintaining those same in-group, out-group distinctions? Same issue, right? Power, reaffirming power. Why did the Catholic Church issue Mass in Latin, a language nobody spoke, and then decree the religious importance of adhering to the laws of the land, of the ruler that you're in? Why did the Pope get along with, like, European nobility? Because there was like a synthesis between power of the clergy and power of the state. Why did Protestants and why do Protestants argue that it's godly to work hard? That's not one of Christ's virtues. Basically what I'm saying is that like these tribalism has always been either manufactured or capitalized on in order to get people fighting other groups, so they're not fighting the ones that are already in charge within the group you're already in. Tribalism is natural, but that just makes it easier to prey on.